We're going to look at Euro and Program 21 game and focus on one of the two functions that we're dealing with. The reason is that we're going to be working with strings in this situation, which is not something that we've done with input statements at this time. So, to start working, I have all the code written above this, so just imagine me typing very fervently here. I'm going to bring in a string, which is player1, and we're going to call player1 Tom. And so when I run my function here, I'm going to run my function of pass or roll. I'm going to bring in player1, and the player's choice is going to be my output for it. I'm going to push enter. It's going to say player Tom, pass or roll as a question. And if I select pass, it's going to come over here and select player's choice as pass. Let me run that again. I'm going to run it again, and this time I'm going to select that he rolls. And so we can see that going on. But what's interesting about this is that while I'm running this, while my response is not going to be P or R, I want it to continually ask me for another input until I get my P or R. And so if I do K here, it says that doesn't work. If I do I here, it says it doesn't work also until I do P or R, and then it'll allow me to advance. What's unique about that we've not seen before is this is an input statement right here that is a string that also has this variable, which is a string, embedded in it. To do that, let me clear this out for you. I'm going to develop a new string. I'm just going to call it input words. And I'm going to push enter. And we can see here now that input words is over there. And what it did was it took player1, which is Tom, comma, and then add the rest of this string here for me. And so now I have a string here which is just pretty much what I'd like to see this input come out with, which is Tom is looking for a string. Then when I run a new input here, what I can do is I'm going to set the input to a value, and I'm going to have the string that sends out input strings, and I'm going to say that my response is apostrophe S apostrophe. It means that I want it to return back a string to me. So now Tom is looking for a string, and I'm just going to type in here it is. So now over here, X, which I said my input was going to be, is listed as here it is. There's another way we could do this, but it's not the best in my perspective, is I can do an fprintf, and what I have is my fprintf is I'm going to go out, find a player, find a string, which I'm going to have it be player1, and then I have it embedded in there. So when I run this, I get player Tom, pass or roll, which works for me. Let's look at the code one more time just so we're aware of what needs to happen. So I'm going to run my code, just player choice. And player Tom, do I want to pass or roll? In this situation, I'm going to want to pass. Run again. In this situation, I'm going to want it to roll. And while I don't have it being the input being a P or an R, I'm going to want to continually ask for a value to come in. So L doesn't work, U doesn't work until I get my P. And that's the basics of the pass or roll that we need to make it work. And so take a look at it.